Hello, I'm Michael Pearson. Our top stories.
Students raise their voice, the first assembly of the term. 50 Shades of Academia, are you too sexy for your subject? And a red carpet event at the film place in Buckingham.
With the new term, there are new students and new issues to be resolved. The Student Assembly gives students old and new the chance to speak up and discuss their problems with the staff. Alexandra Semi has the report.
We're here at the Student Assembly where students can ask questions and voice their opinion on everything that deals with the university. There are 12 representatives of different departments there to tackle various issues concerning the students.
We have more students than ever before. We're doing better in the league tables than ever before. We have higher entry standards than ever before, so we hope that will translate into more first and 2-1s than ever before. And we really are in a very good place. The only blot on the landscape is the United Kingdom board vacancy and its very harsh treatment of students with international visas. And so I repeat what I'm going to say. If you are an international student and you're failing in your studies, go to your personal tutor before it becomes a real problem. Okay, now I should ask all my colleagues to talk for 2 or 3 minutes, and at 7:30 I hand over the microphone to you.
With over 120 students attending the second Students' Assembly, we asked a few students how helpful they believe these conferences to be.
I thought it was really nice. I thought there was a very good speech and that students could ask their questions, so I thought that was very good.
So do you think the Student Assembly is going to be making any changes this year?
It seems like it. The questions seem very relevant and the answers seem very honest, and looks like going forward we should get some changes.
So how did you feel about the assembly?
I feel it was pretty cool. Being able to address those issues shows that they really have concern for students, not just what's happening, but they want to hear students' opinion out and want to look for a better way to change that. It's awesome.
With the autumn term off to a good start and progress in all departments, the students are happy to be heard. This is Alexandra Semi reporting for Buckingham News.
Yesterday was World Sight Day, an occasion that not only highlights the problems that people with visual impairments face, but also acts as a reminder for people with perfect eye conditions to appreciate their vision. Navpreet Grewal talked to optician Newman Khalid.
Have you been struggling to read that book, squinting at the pages to make out the words? 285 million people worldwide are visually impaired, but did you know that 80% of all visual impairments could be avoided or even cured? So, to mark World Sight Day on October the 11th, we spoke to Newman Khalid to find out what we could be doing to save our sight. How often should people be having their eyes tested?
The NHS recommendation is for most people to get their eyes tested once every 2 years. Some children will have them tested every year, and it can be more than that depending on the requirements of your eyes or your eye health. If your optician decides that you need to be checked more often, it could be more than that.
What things might you be looking for when doing an eye test?
Yeah, a lot of people think we test just for glasses and things, but that is a large part of what we do. But we can check for conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, glaucoma, all sorts of high cholesterol, problems with dry eye, corneal problems like ulcers for people who wear contact lenses. So those are the kind of things that we do.
Can eye test highlight any other possible health conditions?
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious things like people can have cancer, and you can get melanomas inside the eye, and growths of that nature. You can have increased pressure of the brain, which can result in something that we can see inside the eye. It could be a leak of fluid in the brain and increased pressure.
Mr. Khalid has highlighted how important it is to go for an eye test regardless of whether you wear glasses or not. This is Navpreet Grewal from Signature Eyewear reporting for Buckingham News.
A series of volunteers from the Buckingham Canal Society have been moving the project of restoring the Buckingham Canal into its next stage. Although they had a few minor obstacles to overcome, the workmen were given the perfect weather to continue the work. Theresa Spießberger had a chance to see the work in action.
About a month ago, the Buckingham Canal Society was clearing the Hyde Lane site of rubble and mud in preparation for the installation of new lock gates.
After a short security briefing, we were led onto the site, where a 20-ton excavator was already waiting to get to work. 6 component parts, each weighing more than a ton, had to be properly arranged before being put in place.
What exactly is happening here today?
So the intention is today, over here you'll see the groove chamber where the lock gate hinges, and at the bottom there's something called a pot, which is where the peg on the bottom of the lock gate will fit into. The lock gate will be lowered into this recess, and that's where it's going to sit in an open position, with the balance beam sticking out that way along the lock and the gate sitting in this recess. At the other end there's a pair of gates that go in a mitered position, with the point of the mitre facing this way, because that's where the water pressure would be against them, pushing them shut. They'll be put in a closed position.
Where's the society heading?
But if we look where we aim to be at the end of next year, 2013, which happens to be the 21st birthday year of the Canal Society, we'll potentially have 400 metres in water at the Buckingham end. We'll have this lock restored and preserved for its future, and we'll have potentially round about 500 metres in water at the Cosgrove end, adjacent to the Grand Union Canal where the Buckingham Arm starts.
Although the mounting of the locks has proven to be trickier than expected, the project of bringing the canal back to life is well on its way. This is Theresa Spießberger reporting for Buckingham News.
When you choose your degree subject, you're probably thinking of your career prospects or whether you actually enjoyed the subject. But did you ever consider that if your subject was actually sexy? Well, a new survey has been looking at just this prospect. Our own love giant, Chris Didrikson, has been finding out.
A survey by StudentBeans.com concluded that economists have been the most sexually successful since the start of the new educational year. We came to the ADR to talk to the head of economics at the University of Buckingham and see what he thinks about it.
I mean, it's not a dull subject. I mean, I don't criticise other subjects, but some are. Perhaps some of the sciences are a bit sort of mundane, whereas economics deals with people more. It's a social science, so perhaps people are more interested in people, if you like. So perhaps they're more sort of gregarious types. Yeah, I think just people who study economics are more sort of perhaps more outgoing than some other students.
We also came here to the OTM to ask students what they think the sexiest subject is.
I don't know, anything that means that he's going to be rich.
Probably psychology, yes. Because if she knows what I'm thinking, she's more dangerous than she should be.
So anything that's going to make him some money.
Sexiest subject?
Chartism. That is the period of history that absolutely turns me on.
Sexy subject's got to be psychology. For me at least, because the girls who do psychology think they know how your brain works and all that.
As you can see, guys should be making money and women should be understanding men. This is Chris Diedrichs reporting for Buckingham News.
Local filmmaker Roger Stotesbury is releasing his first documentary at the Film Place in Buckingham this evening. The story focuses around a young man who's following his dream to have his own restaurant with the support of his family and the challenges that he faced along the way. Helen Thain had the chance to meet the director.
Local filmmaker and head of Milton Keynes-based production company Jump Off the Screen Roger Stotesbury is about to release his first film documentary next week, Louis and the Restaurant. We met up with him to talk about the production.
Our film is called Louis and the Restaurant, and it really follows this 23-year-old lad through 6 months of his life as he sets up his first restaurant. And it's a big venture for him, and when they started, they weren't sure if it was going to be successful or not, and we follow his journey.
What inspired you to make this film?
I guess I was interested because I like making positive films, and this seemed to be a very positive story about somebody with he seems to have a natural talent, and what he was trying to do was to enter the world of business, and that's tough, and he wasn't getting any help from the banks because there's no money, recession, so all the banks were turning him down. So
how close did you personally sort of become to the project?
You start off being totally independent because you've just met this family and you're being invited in, and you have your own questions and you have your own thoughts. But then, of course, when you get close to somebody over a period of 6 months and you see them achieving things, you can't help but kind of warm to them. And so you do have to keep
that sort of distance from them as well, so that you have the position of making an independent film.
Louis in the Restaurant premieres on Friday the 12th of October at the Film Place in Buckingham. This is Helen Thain reporting for Buckingham News.
This week, Buckingham's very own football team won their first match of the term against Woughton. James Crook with the sports.
The University of Buckingham made a poor start in this clash with Woughton, conceding within seconds of kick-off. The University found their stride, however, James Whitecross netting an equaliser before Tommy Belgill capitalised on some poor defending, putting the Uni 2-1 up within 10 minutes. But Woughton refused to fall behind in this game, netting again after 12 minutes to level the scores at 2-2. The Uni side did not take long in restoring their lead, new addition Jack Dugdale making it 3-2 with just 15 minutes on the clock. With the Uni in the ascendancy, Will McPhee latched onto a pinpoint pass from Belgill to make it 4-2. And the boys in blue came straight out the dressing room to notch again, Whitecross doubling his tally. And 3 points for Buckingham looked safe when McPhee netted again, making it 6-2 after 53 minutes. But a dubious penalty allowed Woughton back in the game, Governor coming close but failing to keep out the penalty. And with 10 minutes to go, another scrappy goal allowed the away side back into the game, 6-4. But Buckingham could rest easy when Will McPhee completed his hat-trick and scored a fourth to make it 8-4 at full-time. Buckingham rise to third in the league with 8 games gone. James Crook, Buckingham News.
And finally, something new for Buckingham News. How to prepare a proper meal in a short time without spending a fortune. Kevin Campoy has been with our very own Roger Perkins, lecturer and gourmet, to see how it's done.
It's British Egg Week, and to open our series on cheap and easy eats for students, we're here with Roger Perkins to prepare the perfect omelette.
Omelettes are incredibly easy to prepare, but they are quite scary because a lot of people tend to overcook them. So what we're going to do is just give some pointers on how to do it absolutely right. There are 2 basic ingredients, as you might imagine. Eggs, free range, as good a quality as you can find. And secondly, butter. You need an omelette pan. Okay, it's not like a frying pan is more flat based. But here we are. Let's put it on some heat so it can generate up a bit. Crack an egg in there. Crack another egg in there. And that's it, just beat it up, okay? You can do salt and pepper, you know, which is all good and well kind of thing. But the key is just to take some decent eggs and put some air into them. Let's put this knob of butter into there. It's beginning to froth around. And you've got to be careful not to burn the butter. Pour the egg in like that, okay? Twist it round a couple of times. While it's still runny, okay, let's try and fold it as well as we can, okay? Fold it in 4 if you wish. Boy, it's all yours. Do the honours. I hope it's kind of visible that it's not like a mattress inside, that you've still got some of that runny yolk, okay? So that's there.
Well, thank you, Roger, for today. That was a phenomenal omelette.
Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.